Good afternoon, UTkids. How are we all doing today? All good? Nice one. Okay, I'm good too, thanks for asking. If you asked, you maybe didn't ask. It's okay. So we're on our final week of the I Ams of Jesus. This is week number 7. So the I Ams are times when Jesus said, I am something, and he was telling us a little bit about who he is and his purpose. And they're all in the book of, that's right, the book of John. And this is found in John chapter 15 and verse 5. So Jesus is saying this: I am the vine and you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. So he's talking about a vine, branches and fruit. What exactly does that mean? Well, before we find out, we're going to get up on our feet and we're going to worship together.
Noah built the most enormous boat that kept the birds and animals afloat. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Noah lived his life for him. Moses led his people through the sea, taking them away from slavery. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Moses lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. David fought Goliath and he won. A humble shepherd boy became a king. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and David lived his life for him. Daniel was inside a lion's den, but God brought him to safety once again. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Daniel lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. Jesus died to take away our sin, so we could get to know our God again. The Lord is good, the Lord is strong, and we will live our lives for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. Thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that
So we're on our last week, our last I Am, and we're in the book of John again. This is the last one, this is number 7, okay? And we read it at the start, I'm going to read it again, and it's in chapter 15 and verse 5. It says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. So I wonder what that means. I wonder what Jesus is trying to say. Well, I want to tell you a wee bit first about my brother. Okay, so you've maybe heard me talking about my brother before. His name's Michael. Okay, and whenever we were, in fact, it still happens now. Whenever we were younger, and even now, a lot of people get us mixed up. Okay, because we're very similar. And I remember this has happened on a number of occasions, okay? But it happens quite a bit when we go into shops. So I would go into a shop and I would feel like somebody's watching me. Okay, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling before. Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. And then that person would come up and start speaking to me. And they're having a good chat with me. And I'm kind of like, I'm really sorry, I don't know who you are. And they're still chatting away, and then they get to the stage where they're looking at me and they realise that I don't know who they are. And then they're very confused because they think they know who I am. And then I'm kind of like, I'm really sorry, but like, do you think I'm somebody else? And they'd be like, Michael, you not Michael? I'm like, right, that's where the problem is. I'm actually Michael's brother, Stephen. And then they'd be like, oh my goodness, no way, like I just thought you were Michael, like I didn't even realise. And I'm like chatting to you and this is really awkward, and so it has happened on a number of occasions. But I think the reason for that is because we're very, very similar, alright? And we do look alike, but also the more time we spend together, the more we become like each other. And we start saying the same things, we start speaking the same way, we start acting the same way, we have the same sense of humour. And maybe if you don't know us that well, it can sometimes get a bit confusing and you can get us mixed up. But I think it's because of the amount of time that we spend together where we get to become like each other. But I think this is what Jesus is trying to say. You see, whenever we become Christians, whenever we decide to trust in Jesus and follow him, our job as Christians is to become more like Jesus. And you see, the only way that we can become more like Jesus is if we spend time with him. You see, if we don't spend time with someone, we're not going to be anything like them. So just like me and my brother, when we spend time together, we become quite like each other, so we do. And this is what we are supposed to do as Christians. And so we read before in some of the other I Ams, Jesus loved to use illustrations. And this time, he's using another illustration. And he's using the one with a vine, branches, and fruit. So you don't know if you know much about trees, hopefully you do. And I'm not sure that I know lots about trees, but I'm going to try and understand a wee bit. So the vine is like the main part of the tree, and the roots go down into the ground, okay? And then the branches are the bits that come off the main part of the tree. And from the branches then grow the fruit. Now the only way the fruit grows is if there's a branch to grow from. But the only way the branch can grow if it's fed by the vine. Okay, so if the branch was cut off and lying on the ground, it's not going to grow and there's going to be no fruit coming from it. So the fruit can only grow from the branch when it's connected to the main part of the tree, when it's connected to the vine. And this is what Jesus is trying to say to us. You see, the only way that we can produce fruit, okay, the only way that we can be more like Jesus and to show his characteristics is to be connected to him. We have to spend time with Jesus in order to produce the fruit. You see, the Bible talks about some of the fruits of the Spirit, and it's kindness, gentleness, self-control, patience, goodness, joy. Those are all fruits of the Spirit. They are all things and all characteristics of Jesus, and all the things that we should be as Christians. And you see, we can't become those things if we're disconnected from Jesus. So when Jesus is talking about the vine and the branches, he's talking about him and us, and we need to be connected to him. And you see, it goes on to say that without him we can do nothing. And that's true, because we can't grow fruit on our own. So if we are a branch and we are disconnected from the vine, then we can't expect to show any fruit. We can't expect to grow any fruit. So just like me and my brother, when we spend time together, we become very similar. We have the same characteristics, and maybe it's a bit hard for people to figure out who is who. You see, as Christians, we need to be like that with Jesus. We need to be totally connected with him. We need to spend time with him and remain in him, okay? Because whenever we disconnect and whenever we move away from Jesus and we don't spend time with him, well then we can't grow. We can't become more like him. So I want to encourage you, when Jesus is saying this in the Bible, I want to encourage you to spend time with Jesus, remain in him, be connected with him. And when that's the case, then that is whenever we become more like him. And when people start to realize you're looking a lot like Jesus, because they know Jesus and know what he looks like, know his characteristics, and because you remain in him, because you're connected to him and you start to grow that fruit, then people will notice that you're becoming more like Jesus. And that's our job as Christians. And you know, we're not perfect and we'll never be exactly like him, but we should be getting up every morning and every day wanting to be more like him. And the only way to do that is to be connected to him. And just like the branch and the vine with the tree, that's what we have to be with Jesus. So hopefully that all makes sense, and hopefully you've understood all the I ams that we've gone through over the past number of weeks. And again, if you want to go and look at them more, you can rewatch the videos from weeks previous, and you can go into the book of John and find out all the I ams and read them again and see how much Jesus loved to use illustrations to help us understand a wee bit more about what he was saying. But hopefully you can remember everything that we've learned over the past few weeks, and hopefully you'll continue to remain in Jesus, spend time with him, and become more like him. But that's us for another week, and just keep your eyes out for what's going to be happening over the next few weeks as we come into the lead up to Christmas. Who's excited about Christmas? I cannot wait. I'm hoping that if there's another video coming maybe next week and I'm on it, that you're going to see a Christmas tree in this house. I'm hoping that I get to put it up very, very soon. And maybe you've got some of your Christmas decorations up as well. I love Christmas and can't wait. But keep your eye out for what's going to be coming up over the next few weeks. But that's us for another week of UTkids. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I want you to have an amazing Sunday and a great week. Bye.